A great and terrible moment is upon us, one that will shake the very foundations of the Church. The world watches in silence, hearts heavy with uncertainty, as the Vatican stands on the brink of an event unlike any before. A storm is gathering over Rome, not of wind and rain, but of secrecy, of prophecy, of something that has been foreseen but never fully understood. Within the ancient walls of the Holy See, whispers spread like wildfire, and speculation tightens its grip on the faithful. Pope Francis, the leader of over 1 billion Catholics, lies on the threshold of eternity. Millions gather outside the hospital, their prayers rising like incense, pleading for his recovery. Yet, something feels deeply unsettling. Reports emerge, claiming he has only hours left, yet the Vatican remains silent. The media assures us that he is in critical yet stable condition, a contradiction that fuels only more unease. What is being hidden? Why is the truth cloaked in uncertainty? Then, in the depths of the night, as the world remained restless, a revelation came forth. The Lord spoke, not in riddles, not in whispers, but in power. A message unlike any before, sent to warn those who have ears to hear. Something is about to break. The Church, the seat of Peter, stands on the precipice of divine judgment. The time of waiting is over. A reckoning is near, and what is coming will leave the world forever changed. The night was heavy with silence, the kind that carried unseen weight, pressing against the heart like an unseen force. Rome, the eternal city, seemed to tremble under an invisible hand, the streets unusually quiet, as though the very air held its breath. The Vatican stood in its centuries-old majesty, its towering presence a symbol of unyielding authority, yet something within its walls was shifting, an unraveling that could not be stopped. Deep within the apostolic palace, the lamps burned dimly, casting elongated shadows on marble floors. The world waited in anticipation, for within those hallowed halls, Pope Francis lay at the brink of eternity. Some wept, some prayed, while others whispered in hushed voices, their faces etched with uncertainty. Rumors ran like wildfire he had mere hours, perhaps days, yet no official word had been given. A strange contradiction surfaced, critical yet stable. Beyond the veil of secrecy, in the hidden chambers where only the highest ranks of the Church convened, voices murmured in uneasy discussion. Cardinals, dressed in crimson robes of authority, gathered under the solemn glow of candlelight. Their faces, carved with concern, held something deeper, fear. Not for the life of the Pope, but for what his passing or his survival would mean. Something greater was at play, something no mortal could control. Far from the Vatican, a man knelt in prayer. His heart was heavy, his soul burdened with a revelation he had not sought but had been given. The voice of the Lord had come to him, not in a whisper, not in riddles, but with power. The hour has come, the Lord had spoken. The power that has sat upon the seat for generations is now shaken. The world watches the Vatican, but my hand moves behind the veil. The man who wears the white robe stands at the threshold of eternity. Yet first, I have seen the depths of the secrets hidden within the walls of his kingdom. Many call upon my name, seeking mercy for him, but do they know what they pray for? Have they sought my will in this matter? For I tell you, my judgment is set, and the Vatican will not remain as it was before. Trembling, the man, chosen not by himself, but by the divine will, knew what was coming. He had felt the weight of prophecy before, but never had it come with such urgency. He opened his Bible, the words of Luke 12 verses 2-3 illuminating before his weary eyes. Asterisk, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hidden that shall not be known. Therefore, whatsoever ye have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light. Asterisk, a great trembling overtook him. He knew what was concealed for generations was about to be torn open. The Vatican, the stronghold of the Church, was no longer untouchable. Its secrets, veiled in darkness, would be thrust into the light. What the world revered would be shaken, and only those with eyes to see and ears to hear would understand. The night waned, and the first whispers of dawn painted the sky in muted gray. News outlets scrambled for the latest updates, reporters stationed outside St. Peter's Square watching, waiting. Then the first announcement came, a sudden call for all cardinals to assemble. Not an ordinary gathering, an emergency conclave. The world braced itself. Within the Vatican walls, something shifted. The cardinals, solemn and grave, exchanged glances as they entered the chamber, the weight of history pressing against their backs. The doors closed. Silence fell. A moment suspended between past and future. Then, a voice broke the stillness. "Brothers, the time has come." An aged cardinal, one who had seen many battles within the church, stood with weary eyes. "The Holy Father has spoken his final words," he said, his voice like a tremor through the room. "And now we must decide the fate of the church." Outside, in the hushed streets, the faithful waited. But beyond the faithful, beyond those who still believed in the purity of the Vatican, there were others, those who knew the truth, those who had kept the secrets buried for centuries, those who now felt the walls crumbling. Across the world, the spiritual realm stirred. A battle unseen to human eyes raged. The Lord had declared the time of revelation, and the kingdom of darkness was grasping, clawing, desperate to hold its ground. In the days that followed, events unfolded in rapid succession. Reports of strange occurrences surfaced, power outages across Rome, unexplained blackouts in St. Peter's Basilica. A storm rose in the Vatican, one not of weather, but of something unseen, something ancient. And then, the unthinkable happened. A message leaked, a document never meant to see the light of day. It spoke of secrets buried deep, of machinations that went against the very foundation of the church. It revealed corruption at levels previously unimagined, forces within the Vatican operating in darkness while proclaiming light. The world gasped. The faithful were shaken. Many fell to their knees, crying out for understanding. Others turned away, unable to bear the weight of what they had believed in shattering before their very eyes. But the Lord had spoken. "I am breaking open the doors. I am tearing the veil that has concealed the works of iniquity. The world will see what has been hidden for generations." As the revelations spread, some denied, some defended, but none could ignore. Vatican, once untouchable, was now exposed. The power that had ruled in secrecy was crumbling under the divine decree. And in the quiet corners of the world, the faithful gathered. Those who knew that what had come to pass was not an end, but a beginning. They prayed, not for the Vatican as it had been, but for what was to come. They prayed for purification, for truth to reign, for the church to be made new. The shaking had begun, and what followed would leave the world forever changed. As the final words of the prayer echoed, a stillness settled over the room. The weight of revelation had changed everything. The veil had been lifted, and the truth, long hidden, now stood on the edge of exposure. What once was speculation had become conviction, and the days of blind trust were over. The world was awakening, and with it, a storm of reckoning loomed over the Vatican. The main character, once hesitant and uncertain, now stood with unwavering resolve. Fear had been replaced with faith, and doubt had surrendered to divine certainty. No longer a mere observer, they had become a messenger. One who had seen, who had heard, and who would not remain silent. The burden of knowledge was great, but so too was the responsibility to act. Beyond the walls of secrecy, something was stirring. The shaking had begun, and nothing would remain untouched. The faithful would soon be tested. Many would fall away, but many more would rise, strengthened by the truth. The question remained, when the final sign comes, will the world listen, or will it be too late? The answer lay in the days ahead, and the time of decision had begun.